Hello, welcome to RC Video Reviews. Today is the build recap and maiden flight of the Avanti S V2. Freewing came out with an Avanti S V2 and they took a really good airframe and made it even better. They added an in-rudder motor. They did a few improvements on the landing gear. We'll get to that in just a minute. And I think they freshened up the color scheme just a little bit. So this one is the red and gray version. And I'll be flying this with a 6L 5000 75C. I'll take the canopy off in just a minute and give you a look at that. And then I also point out that I added a little 3D printed exhaust flange there on the back and just glued that on with a little bit of contact cement. In terms of the assembly, you have 4 screws on the horizontal stabilizer, 4 screws on the vertical, and 4 screws on each wing. That's really all you need to do, and then you just connect your wiring. I had 0 fit and finish issues on this plane. It all just came together just fine. I don't have really anything to report. I didn't even have to attach the flap control rods. They were done for us out of the box as well. So let's take a look inside the canopy, and then we'll look under the belly, and then we'll go fly. All right, here's a look at the battery compartment. And again, I've got a 6L 5000 75C. That's a Liperior battery, and it's pushed almost all the way back for balance. And then I'm flying with an Express LRS receiver. No gyro in this one. So that's a 6-channel EPW6, and that gives me the 4 aileron, elevator, throttle, and rudder, plus flaps and gear. So that's it on the control system inside. And then all you have to do to complete assembly is put the horizontal and vertical stabilizers in and snake the servo leads from the back all the way to the front. I also take the battery tray off and run the wires underneath the battery tray just to keep it kind of clean in there. And there's a control board inside. You really just add the 2 elevator wires and the 1 rudder wire, and you're ready to go. Next, we'll take a look at the belly and I'll show you the gear. Some of the improvements they made on the Avanti V2 is they beefed up the trailing links and the landing gear on the nose wheel, and they made improvements in the door and the way the door latches. And I can tell you it is cleaner. The original Avanti, these doors did not really close very straight on that plane. It was just one of those little fit and finish issues. And then on the main gear, I don't know if there's any real mechanical differences, but we'll give you a look at what the gear looks like when it goes up and down. So here goes the gear tucked away. And there it is on the nose. See how clean that seam is right there? That's not really like that on the V1. That's an improvement they made this time around. And then we'll bring the gear down. There we go. And that's it. So there's a look at the belly. Oh, one other thing you have to do on the assembly is glue the little wing gates on right at that step in the wing from where it goes from a narrow point to a wider point near the tip. Those little wing gates get glued on. That's it in terms of the build recap. It took me maybe a half an hour to assemble this plane, and I already had a radio configuration off my original Avanti, so I didn't even really have to do much work there. It just really came together very quick. So let's fly it. All right, we've got quite a bit of wind today. It's coming a little bit off to the left side of the runway, so I'm gonna give myself a little room. I'm gonna go into high rates and give myself a little bit of room to operate here.
There is the wind. That's a lot of wind.
Although with all that wind, it shouldn't really be much of a problem. And for the initial takeoff, I'm going to go without flaps, although I've flown this plane quite a bit, so I'm pretty comfortable using flaps on this one. But for the initial, just to make sure everything's working right, I'm going to go without the flaps. So here we go, maiden flight of the Avanti V2. Okay, it's quick. I'll tell you that, it feels real quick. Got a little bit of a nose up there, so I'm going to make some adjustments on trim. Yep, a little bit of an adjustment on trim. All right, it actually took me a couple clicks of trim to get it flattened out. I needed quite a bit of nose down, and I needed some aileron trim to get it flying flat, but it feels pretty good. So I'm going to do some low passes so Dave can get a look at her. Remember, whoa, no gyro in this one, so that's me dealing with wind right there. I think I'll do some not quite so low passes. That was a little bumpy, but that's all wind. That's not the plane. We'll try it again. I'll add a little speed this time too. That normally helps. Yeah, there we go. Very nice. All right, couple of quick maneuvers just to test out the airframe. I'm gonna do a loop first, so power's coming on. Perfect tracking through the loop. That's what you expect from an Avanti. Not surprised. I'm gonna do my yaw test now. So the yaw test, we go into the wind, which is what I'm doing right now. We're gonna go straight up in the air. Then we're gonna kill the power and see which way it drops. So power's off and it was gliding backwards quite a bit, but it dropped straight down, so I'm okay with that. I don't see any issues with yaw. That was actually kind of fun. Did you see that, Dave?
Yeah, I saw that.
That was kind of fun. You loft it in the air and the wind just pushed it back. That was pretty cool. All right, the next thing I'm gonna do is go around and do my inverted test. So actually, I wanna do that in the wind, so I'm gonna do it from left to right. I normally, at this field, I do it a lot of times right to left, but we're gonna do it left to right. So here we come, Dave, coming around for the inverted test.
All right.
Okay, so inverted, we go up about 45, roll inverted, and there's a little nose down, not aggressive, but I think that's where I want it today. On a windy day for a maiden, I'm okay with that. Little bit of nose down, I'm actually very good with that. And don't forget, this is not a symmetrical wing.
Plus, it's a jet anyways.
Yeah,
A little bit of nose heavy, it's a lot of help on these, I would assume.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a 3D plane, so
Exactly.
it doesn't need to be perfectly neutral. But like I've said on past videos, we don't want to fight with it either. Just a little bit of touch, that's it. And as you can see, I'll roll inverted again. It does a nice job with a little bit of up elevator, forward pressure. So down elevator, forward pressure.
High rate.
All right, I'm gonna go into high rates. We'll kick it up in speed a little bit and do a knife edge. Beautiful. All right, let's try a Cuban 8 just to see how they perform. That's one of the fun things about these Avantis. They do the sport aerobatics really well.
One minute.
Yeah, very nice, man. All right, I'm down to 1 minute on the timer.
23 volts.
I got 23 volts, which is plenty, but it's a maiden. So I want to get it down on the ground, check it out, make sure everything's where it's supposed to be. Battery is still where it's supposed to be. And it is a new plane, so I need to practice some approaches.
Gear down. 23. 22.
There's the gear. I see 3.
20.
Mains in the nose wheel. That looks good. All right, I got half flaps for the landing. I'm just going to aim it down to the ground. Give it a little flare right at the end.
Nice.
Yeah, very nice. Very, very nice. Man, these Avantis. And that was, I'm going to get it right now. Let's check it. The flight time on that one was 7 minutes. That was a 7-minute flight.
That's very nice.
Yep.
2.
Wow.
1. Timer 1 elapsed.
And you were not holding back on the throttle either.
No, I was kind of exercising it a little bit. No doubt about it.
Very nice.
There we go, the Avanti S. You know, I am not a big EDF kind of guy. I just, like I said, the one that got me turned on to EDFs again was that X-Fly Alpha from Big Go Hobby. And the reason I got turned on to them again was because that plane flew for like 6 or 7 minutes. And I thought, man, if I could get a jet to actually fly for a little while, I'd be happy with that. Then I went out and did the homework and I found these Avantis, they're flying for 7, 8 minutes at a time. So I investigated and got one, and I'll tell you what, I've been thrilled with it. These are very good sport jets. And as you can tell on the flight, I had all the power. I had no issues with any maneuver I tried, and I got a solid 7 minutes. And I'm at 23.2 on the battery, so I still had another minute or two ready to go. But you know how it is on a maiden. I like to get them down and inspect things. So I'm really happy with the Avanti S. In terms of visibility, I was a little concerned about the red and gray, but it wasn't too bad. I still think I would like that pop of white better, but I was able to see it without too much fuss. So no real issues with visibility. Flight characteristics, it's every bit as good or better than the original Avanti. It's very precise feeling in the air, easy to see, easy to land, easy to take off, 7 minutes of flight time. this is the jet. If you want a sport jet, especially if you're just getting into EDFs, this is one definitely worth considering. Any questions, Dave? Any comments?
No, beautiful. You getting rid of it? When are you getting rid of it?
Dave wants to know when
Oh,
this
yeah.
gets. I guess when there's a V3, maybe.
This is the only jet really I would like to have is the Avanti.
Yeah, it's a good jet, man.
Yep.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, if you like this kind of content, make sure you smash that thumbs up button, subscribe, and hit the bell so you know when new videos hit the channel. YouTube should recommend another video for you right now. That's all I've got for today. Take it easy.
Hasta la vista, everyone.
And go fly something. It took a little time, but Freewing produced an upgraded version of the Avanti. They made some improvements in areas where they needed it, so now that's bullshit, because it didn't need any improvements.
No, yeah.
It was good the way it was. Well, Avanti, it's not Avanti, it's Freewing. Most of the wiring was done. All you really have to do is fish a couple wires from the back up front, use a hook and loop. No, I always forget the name of that stupid thing.
Velcro?
No, it's a wire with the hook on the end to fish it.
Oh,
You just got it. I'll just say,
snake?
yeah.